Overpromised with Covino Rich, presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code Overpromised, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
What is going on?
We're going on. Overpromised.
Getting closer and closer to what is arguably the best weekend of football every year. Divisional round. You skimmed out the fat in the wild card divisional round. So
What'd you
here
say
we
about
are. Trimmed out the fat. So yeah, the division's where it's at, man.
All right.
8 teams. Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome to Overpromised, our bonus podcast brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm Covino. That is Rich. We're on Fox Sports Radio Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 on the West, 5 to 7 on the East. And we have lots to get to today. What was popular in 1991? We're throwing it back. The last time the Lions were in the playoffs.
Yeah, the 91-92 season.
Exactly.
It's been a minute.
Plus Rich's picks. You're not going to want to miss that. But let's kick it off with the best possible matchup for the Super Bowl. Now, Rich, you missed this the discussion on Fox Sports Radio because you were in Disneyland.
Oh, yeah, I was on the teacups.
You were on the teacups. And I got to tell you what everybody said.
I'm sorry, I was soaring.
All right. And there's a part 2 of the question. Okay, so myself, Spot, and La Reina all said that the Lions-Bills would be an awesome matchup for so many reasons,
That's the one matchup that my team's not in it fan would root for, right? The Lions, what a feel-good story. And the Bills, as a child, you remember back to back. Like,
been there 4 times, lost every time. So this could be a big win, big moment for each city, for each organization. That's a great matchup. So nothing against your 49ers, but I was like, that's kind of the coolest matchup because we've seen the Ravens-Niners, right? So Dan Beyer said, you know what? I'll take option C. I like a little mix of both. I'd like to see maybe the Niners-Bills, Lions-Ravens. Dan Beyer was like, I want a remix of something because I don't want to see the same old thing.
Well, you know what Bill stands for, right? Remember the joke back in the 90s? Do you remember the joke?
What was the joke?
Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. Bills.
So right bad, right? And then Danny G was like, hey, I just want to make it clear. Danny G, our super producer with the smooth and buttery voice. I love Rich Davis and all. He's a great guy. But I want to see Rich Davis lose his Shih Tzu. He wanted to see a rematch of the Ravens, Niners, and the Ravens win. He thinks that's the best matchup. So hold on. Based on that.
Well, guess who's not coming to my house then?
Well, that's the question. I want to know best matchup for you.
Okay.
In your opinion.
Yeah.
And what do you do when one of your buddies is rooting against your team in that situation?
They don't get the invite, first of all.
Okay.
The fact that Spot, you were saying that Spot's like, I heard him saying he doesn't want my Niners in it. Then why on earth when I have people over and I cater food and spend hundreds of dollars and open up my house of food and drink, come over, watch the game, be merry, and then I know secretly you're rooting against my interest?
Spot.
He just
took your invite.
I can find Triscuits somewhere else.
Okay. He said you serve Triscuits. Damn.
You know what? I wasn't going to invite you anyway.
I didn't say I didn't want Rich's team in it. I'm just saying we've seen it before. The better story.
When have you seen it? When have you seen it? The Niners win in the 90s, 80s? I mean, it's been a minute, dude. I get it.
No. It wasn't about not wanting to see your team win. Better matchup. Lions, Bills, Ravens, Niners.
Well, wouldn't the best matchup be with the best teams? Like the best matchup.
Not everybody would agree with that, maybe.
No, the best matchup would be Niners, Ravens, or Niners, Bills. Now, I can at least acknowledge I'm a Niners fan, so of course I want them there. But if I were to be asked, what do you think most people would want to see?
Funny, Rich's Niners are in every possible best scenario.
Well, you know what? Eat my listen.
Whoa! You eat your Triscuits.
Eat my Triscuits. Let me tell you why. Because you're acting like you're so full of shit all year long. You've been like the Niners are the most exciting.
I like the Niners. Team. I'm just saying I do like the possibility of these two franchises finally getting one.
But if I'm
That's
telling
all.
you. What's the best matchup?
Okay.
Well, there's a difference. What's the best feel-good matchup? Feel-good matchup, no one could argue. Lions, Bills, best feel-good matchup. If you ask what's the actual best matchup, You'd be lying if you didn't say the Niners and what they did this year versus Lamar, MVP Jackson, or the Bills with Josh Allen finally getting there. That's the best matchup.
Or you could say the colors are already picked out. You got to stick to the NFL script.
Oh, if you stick to the script, I'm good to go.
It's got to be purple and red. There it is.
Right?
See?
Look at that.
3 years in a row.
You know, if you really want to be wild, you might as well say you want the Packers and the Houston Texans.
Well,
if you want to be crazy, right? Oh, CJ Stroud versus Jordan Love. Yeah, that's a storyline someone could get behind. But if you want the best matchup, Niners out of the NFC versus the Bills or Ravens. Now, if you want the feel good, and I get it, Jared Goff gets thrown away to Detroit. Campbell's an inspirational coach. I get it. So if my Niners don't make it there, let's say they shit the bed against the Packers or something, I love the Lions storyline.
Dude, Goff gets his redemption, gets his props. The Lions, great story. Bills, Josh Allen, he's him. He's the guy.
He's him.
Right? He finally wins one for Buffalo.
You know what, Josh Allen?
For all the Jim Kelly fans.
You know what I've been noticing about Josh Allen? And you're going to see it this week against the Chiefs. And you see Mahomes do it once in a while. People are so scared to get that 15 yards roughing the passer or late hit that when they go on these like insane scrambles and runs, you see guys in the secondary easing up. And all it takes is one little juke by these guys, and they get another 20 yards. Rewatch that Josh Allen 52-yard run. Defenders let up like 3 times because they think he's going to slide.
Completely, yeah.
So watch out for that in the Chiefs-Bills game. Because,
he's definitely leaning that way as far as faking him out.
All right,
but
so let's go over this. And
again, guys like Dan Byer, though, say, yeah, he doesn't want to see the rematch. Rich does. It's great redemption for the 49ers. 2 powerhouses. You can't deny that.
Right, so
but
Texans,
what do you do about the invites?
All right, I'll tell you about the invites in a second. But Ravens, we could say Lamar Jackson, exciting to watch in the Super Bowl. Texans, while you love C.J. Stroud and I do, I don't think anyone, forget that. Bucks, they won with Brady. Baker Mayfield, we may like him, but I know others don't, so forget them. I think it really is, if you want to see the best team that's been consistent, Niners or the Lions, because they're a feel-good story. Out of the AFC, as much as I love Mahomes, I love that guy, and Kelsey and the Taylor Swift storyline, I don't think anyone wants to see the Chiefs for the 4th time in 5 years, right?
That's why we narrowed it down to the Lions, Bills, Ravens, Niners.
But to wrap up what you asked me, if you're rooting against me, I'm sorry, you're not welcome in my home. I was at your house.
No invite.
No, get out of here. I'll show you the door. Take your food with you. Make a plate and you could leave. I was at your house once in the 2000s.
Yeah.
We were watching a Yankees-Red Sox playoff game.
Yeah.
And I remember some jerk-off came to your house. Part of my language.
It was my sister's boyfriend at the time.
Yeah, someone came in and he was like, hey, go Red Sox. And I was like, is he? And I don't even like the Yankees, but I
was
knew.
wearing a Red Sox jersey, no less, and I was offended. I'm a Yankees family.
Dude,
and he ruined the vibe.
I'm telling you, I don't like the Yankees. I'm a Mets fan, as you know. But if I'm going to Covino's house to watch a Yankees game, I'm going to be respectful, and I'll give him a fist bump. Even if I don't want the Yankees to win, I won't even clap for the other team. It's called respect.
Don't come to my house disrespecting Mariano Rivera. Don't come to my house. I'm just kidding. No, you don't come here in my house disrespecting Mo Rivera. Not in my house, not on my clock. It didn't break. It's a stand.
You just disrespected.
No, I
Disrespected Mo.
Don't you dare say that. Anyway.
Enter Sandman. Enter Glue Stick.
It's how it is, you goonburger.
Sure.
Anyway,
All right.
Thank you guys. Rich's advice is to not invite someone that could potentially ruin the vibe, and that's rooting against your team. I think that's fair. What do you guys think? Let us know at Covino and Rich, #Overpromised.
All right, well, cool. You know what we got? We got a parlay, and we got we got a same game parlay, and we also just have a parlay for the weekend. Let me kick it off with what I call I call this just the better team parlay. Sometimes they're just the better team, right? We're going to go to Sunday because on last Overpromised, I gave you your Saturday picks.
Yeah.
Just the better team. I think the Bills. Now, Nick Wright and other people on Fox Sports and ESPN would disagree and be like, oh, the Chiefs. They were still 11-6 and they were still a top 10 offense. I just think the Bills right now, they've won 6 of 7. They're hot. They're playing in Buffalo. The Chiefs have never gone on the road in the playoffs with Mahomes, Kelsey, and Andy Reid. That team has never played on the road. I just think the Bills are the better team. And if it's a close matchup, I think you give that little swing to the Bills because it's in Buffalo, right? That fan base is hungry. They're thirsty. So I like Buffalo -2.5. And I like the Detroit Lions minus 6.5. I think the Bucks, listen, it's a fun story. Baker Mayfield reinventing himself. He's humble now. He's likable. But in Detroit, they got a second gift of a home game because they thought they had one home game, but Dallas losing.
Yeah.
The Eagles, all these teams losing gives Detroit a second home game. That place is going to be electric. Eminem's going to be there. Every Detroit Lions fan ever is going to be there. So Lions minus 6.5. They just need to beat the Bucks by a touchdown. And Buffalo wins by field goal over KC. That pays $252. So that parlay, as I called it, just the better team parlay. Dude, just the better team.
Just the better team.
They're just a better team. At this stage of the game, they're all good teams, but I think they're just the better teams.
I like it.
Just the better teams.
Sounds good.
Now, here's something else we're doing. We're going to do an in-game, same-game parlay for the Chiefs-Bills. Not that game needs any more excitement, but you got a lot of big-time players in that game, a lot of stars. We all know stars. So here's what we need to happen. This is a 5-layer, not dip. I know you're bringing that, right?
Well, Spot was going to bring it, but you uninvited him. Yeah.
This is a 5-layer dip.
thanks.
This is what I call the 5-layer dip. You need a Josh Allen touchdown. Not passing, rushing.
I bring something called the Sergio dip. I bring that.
Don't bring that. You got the Josh
my
Allen,
guy.
a Josh Allen anytime touchdown, a Pacheco anytime touchdown, Mahomes over 225 yards passing. He's averaged 260 something for the year. Bills over 19.5 points, and the Chiefs over 19.5 points. So essentially, you need both teams just to score 20 or more.
Ooh, I like that.
Mahomes not to shit the bed and just throw for 225 or more.
No, that's a good one.
And Pacheco punching it in, and Josh Allen at some point also punching one in the end zone. So
I could see both of those things happening. Yeah,
my friends, pays plus 455. So if you're a gambling man, that's 100 wins 455. So lock those in. Hey, you don't have to listen to me. Bet at your own risk and make your own wagers. But I like those two. Just the better team parlay. Mm-hmm. And there you go. Your in-game, your same-game parlay with Josh Allen, Pacheco, Mahomes over yards, and both teams scoring at least 20. If that game's 24-21, 27-20, you win. If both teams can't put up at least 3 tutties, that would be surprising to me.
All right, well, make it happen on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, bringing you an offer that'll help make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet just $5 on any game, get $200 instantly in bonus bets.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use our code Overpromised. New customers, you can bet $5, and get $200 instantly in bonus bets only at DraftKings Sportsbook with our code. Again, Overpromised. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
What do you like there? I always look to you.
Josh Allen, I like that parlay.
You like the second one, the same game?
Josh Allen scoring, Pacheco scoring. I see all that happening for sure.
I just hope that's not a game because, sometimes these guys play in the first half a little tight and the score's lower than you thought. That's the only... But I do see both teams getting to 20. I'd be shocked if Josh Allen or Mahomes didn't lead their team to at least 20 points.
What a matchup. Gotta like it. Ooh. Welcome back to Overpromised, our bonus podcast.
I have an idea. Do you guys want to come over on Sunday? That way it's not the Niners game and Spot could still bring the dip?
Sure. What says you?
They're going to be Triscuits?
Now, we got to talk Lions right now. Lions. By the
up
way, Lions never won. Bills never won. That's why we're saying that might be the best sort of Super Bowl matchup. I'm thinking about it. The Ravens.
You're basing this on sympathy.
The Ravens are 2-0 in the Super Bowl, and your 49ers have 7 appearances and 5 wins. Give someone else a chance.
Yeah, but we're talking about a different generation. My Niners victories came in
Doesn't
the 80s,
matter.
40-something years ago, and they last won with Steve Young in 94, 95. It's almost 30 years. So let's not make it seem like the Niners have been piling up the trophies. You could almost make the same joke that you make about the Cowboys. Like the Niners haven't been that great since the 90s. At least they're winning playoff games.
They got 5. Lions, none. And the last time they were in the playoffs is 1991. And we saw this meme. It was actually a pretty good meme about how the graphics have changed in video games, and Madden in particular.
I saw my buddy Jag, who lives in Detroit, posted this.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. Graphics from the last 2 playoff wins from the Lions. You got Madden 91 for the 91-92 season, and you have Madden 24.
Which
That
looks
bottom
like
picture,
real
by the way,
yeah.
the bottom picture is actually Madden. That to me, for a minute, I was like, wait, is that a real picture of Jared Goff?
I at first didn't get it because of that. I'm like, oh, that's the video game. That's how far we've come. That's how much things have changed since 1991, the last time the Lions were in the playoffs. So,
Are you taking us back in the time machine, DeLorean style?
I say we go back in time, 1991.
To the future.
91 to see what was going on. What was popular?
What was popular in 91? Well, let's start with the movie we were all quoting and people were loving. Terminator 2. I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah.
Arnold was blowing up the box office.
Huge.
T2 was huge. Everyone loved Terminator 2.
Now, a show I was never really that big of a fan of, but was huge in 91. Cheers.
It was still the number 1 show on television.
Still number 1. And by the way, the fun meme that we see all the time is everyone in that picture is like 30 years old.
Is that what 30 to 40 used to look like?
That's what it used to look like back then. But Cheers was number 1.
Yeah, I think, what's that like, Norm's supposed to be 36 or something?
And when I think back to 91 when the Lions were in the playoffs, I think of all the great albums that came out, Rich. There's like some weird stat that all these...
Everybody dance now.
I bought that on Columbia House for a penny.
CNC Music Factory.
I'm not saying it sucked. That's 91.
That was around the window of MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice.
But no, there was like one span where within the 44-day period, all of these legendary albums from 91 came out.
Wow.
Metallica's Black Album, Enter. Can I go for take 2?
Yeah, take 2.
Enter Sandman. There he is. Holding it from the bottom this time. Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Mariano Rivera style. But you had Nirvana Nevermind, which changed music for a decade. You had Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, GNR Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, Soundgarden. And for the hip hop fans, people say the Nirvana of hip hop. That's when A Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory came out. And that was Bugging Out, Excursions, Check the Rhyme. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo.
Now,
Scenario
what's the scenario?
Yeah, 91.
So, think about that. If you're trying to feel a little sympathy for the Detroit Lions fans, the last time they were this excited about a playoff run,
You didn't even know who Busta Rhymes was yet, really.
you were buying all these things on cassette and CD, maybe.
Yeah, by the way, that's a classic. Throwing it back, yeah.
Something else very popular back then, if you want to talk about style. Do you remember the Z Cavaricci pants with the little white tag? They were like 100 a pair. And I remember my mom like, you could buy 1 pair. Z Cavariccis were the rage, at least in the East Coast where I was.
Might be my weirdest flex, but you're going to ask me if I remember. I had 35 pair of...
That doesn't seem possible.
I did.
35
pair. It's
Your
legendary.
mom spent
Yeah.
over $3,000 on pants.
I was a spoiled kid. Look at me rocking them. I was legendary, bro. I was legend. Wait for it.
Legendary. All right, there you go.
There I am with the Z Cavariccis. And you know what else I'm rocking, Spot? If you scroll all the way down, those Reebok Exo Fits. I don't know if you remember them. They were popular at the time. The Reebok with the straps.
Yeah,
you
of
wore them with your
course.
Cavariccis. There you go. So that was big in 91.
Yeah, I was rocking if you go to the picture of me in 91 Spot, I was rocking
You
the
were rocking those,
Cavariccis with the white little tag. That's
you were
how
rocking those big ears. What you were rocking.
I grew into them, all right?
I'm just kidding, man.
Something
but yeah,
else,
Cavariccis were huge. Keep in mind, we're also from the East Coast, but they were nationwide.
I feel like people knew the
Yeah, for sure.
Cavariccis. I wasn't back then. I was the kid that's like, I don't like computers. They're not going to be big. I denied computers. I thought they were for nerds, but 91, the first web page, that's when Microsoft started doing their thing. So that's an odd thought that people were just learning about computers the last time the Lions were good.
Yeah, I didn't have my own home computer. Most people didn't have it till late 90s.
Late 90s,
so.
yeah. I remember I came home from college one year in the late 90s, and my family's like, we got a computer.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Compact Presario, some sort of gateway
This
action.
is the very first webpage.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Boring. Again, taking you back to 91, the last time the Lions were in it, which is why you got to feel good for them and the fans. The Persian Gulf. Everybody was talking Persian Gulf.
Yeah,
George Bush.
Yeah, that was
so
a big
that was
deal.
big. And video games were huge. But in 91, that's when we were introduced to Sonic the Hedgehog.
The
Sega was the thing.
debut of
Yeah.
Sonic, which became, other than Mario, right, one of the bigger bigger characters in video games over the last 50 years.
Without a doubt. And I love the movies with Jim Carrey. I think they're fantastic. But that's when we were introduced to Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, we brought up style. I want to argue with you about one more thing.
Okay,
you know what else was big in 91? Starter jackets.
Yeah,
like 91, 92.
You and I disagree because I feel like when I think starter jacket, I feel like everyone had the pullover with the pouch.
Maybe your nerdy friends with the big ears.
No, that's the Hornets one. I had a Niners one. I feel like everyone had the starter jacket with the pouch.
I have no pouch. Were you keeping your Lunchables in there? I and my friends,
stop it.
We weren't even Raiders fans, but we were hard. We were so hard. We were rocking that old school zip up where it had the team in the back.
So your
That's
Ice
Staters
Cube
jacket. That's the one, and it said Raiders. Yeah. Dude, I was straight out of Compton.
I remember that one, but I'll argue that the pullover with the pouch was the more popular starter jacket.
All right, what says you? But again, this is 91, 92, and that's when the Lions were in it, that 91, 92
season. Oh, you know what? When you were watching the last time the Lions were in the playoffs, guess what you're probably snacking on?
What?
The number one snack back then?
Yeah.
It was the debut of Arizona iced tea and bagel bites. Those were like the snacks people were having.
Arizona iced tea.
I used to house those things forever.
By the way, they're still like
still
$1.
99 cents. I think they're still 99 cents.
Yeah, man.
But bagel bites and Arizona iced tea were like the new snacks.
And again, that takes you back. It's been a long time. And when you think of 91, you got to think of, well, who won in sports that year? It was the Kirby Puckett days, man. The Twins, the Bulls, the Redskins.
Yeah, that was man, shit, a long time ago, huh?
Long time ago.
So,
but this guy wants his 49ers and the Ravens in there again.
Why the hell would I not root for my team? That would be like you saying, I don't want the Yankees, I want the Rays.
Because
like,
we're saying, well, what's the best matchup?
Well, the best matchup versus the sentimental matchup are going to be two different things. So, hey, your comments at Covino and Rich and anything you miss on Overpromised, hey, pass this along to your friends. Watch them. They're all available on the Fox Sports Radio YouTube page. Until next time, have a great one. Enjoy your divisional rounds of the playoffs, the best weekend of football every year. Thank you, DraftKings. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the Overpromised land.